Hello.
All right, great. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, this is Naveen Hatul. How are you?
Hey, Naveen, how are you doing? I'm doing great. So
Yeah.
I see Naveen there. I see Karan. How are you doing, Karan?
Hi Atul,
I
I'm doing good.
see.
How are you?
Hi, I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great. I see Priyatam also there. I've got. I see two more people who I'm not able to see their names. So welcome all. All right, guys. So this time we won't be, making the same mistake that we did the last time. Session got extended for around 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll just, get right down to things. And all right. So let me just open the PPT and we'll get started. Guys, can you see my screen, right? So right now I have my blog page open.
Okay.
You can see that, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay. Great. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining the call. This is great. I see. People are joining every week, and I'm trying to come up with, more and more content. And I would really like, guys, input from your side. Like, what kind of content would you like to hear, or if you guys want to, volunteer as well. That would be awesome. Because my knowledge is still pretty limited, and the whole community actually, you guys are working on awesome stuff, various kind of stuff, and if you guys can, you guys can reach out to me and, tell me, okay, Atul, this is something that I'm comfortable with and I can present on it, then that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, just a sec. So guys, I'm not much acquainted with this join .me interface. So I'm just sharing the right window with you. Just give me 1 second. So okay, let's do one thing. Yeah, just remove the sharing and that. Yeah. Okay. Guys, let me know when you start seeing my PPT. Great.
Yeah, easy visible.
Awesome. All right, great. Okay, guys, let's start. I'll just excuse me. And the session is being recorded. So, guys, again, the session is being recorded. So I'll be putting this session up on my Google Drive, and I'll be sharing it publicly. And I'll also try to I'll send out the link with the email from the group as well only. That is the New Delhi Developer User Group, as well as I'll put it on the Success Community Group as well. I'll share it via Twitter as well. Okay. So, guys, today's session is about how to use Workbench like a pro. So, I use Workbench like every day, and it's an awesome tool. So I thought, let's go a little more deeper. Let's see, because there are a lot more things into Workbench that we don't usually use. I can say for myself, I was not using that much. But once I started exploring them and reading about them, learning about them, I thought, this is great. We can go forward with that as well. So I thought I thought I'll share that knowledge with you. So this is about that session. So guys, a little bit about what is Salesforce Saturday. As you might already know, that's Salesforce Saturday. So it's so giving you a little background. It was first started by Stephanie Herrera in Austin, Texas. The whole concept of Salesforce Saturday, actually she started. So what she started doing was she started going to a coffee shop and sitting over there for a whole Saturday, like from morning 8 to afternoon, and anybody could join her, and if they have any questions, any issues, they can discuss those issues with her, and and slowly, over the last, you can say, 1 year, that group has become a quite vibrant community, and everybody actually come there and they discuss out anything and everything about Salesforce that they might be having a problem with. So my goal is something like that only. But since meeting every week is not gonna become feasible, because a lot of you guys are in Noida, Gurgaon, Delhi, so we have got a little geographical issues here in Delhi. So so we have started with these online sessions so that at least we get the ball rolling. So so it's all about helping each other with the new stuff. And again, guys, like I already said, it's more about volunteering. It's not about just me that I'm just coming up and I'll sharing. So I'll be sharing as much as I know. The more I learn, I'll try to share with you guys. I'm not know-all, be-all kind of guy. I'm just a normal Salesforce guy. So, but I do know that you guys out there are working on awesome stuff. Lovely stuff. With things that I've never worked on. So something like lightning components that I want to get my hands on dirty with, but I'm not getting a chance right now. So if you guys are working on that, we would love, if you guys can come forward and present a session on that. All right, moving forward, a little bit about Stephanie Herrera. She's a Salesforce MVP. She's the founder of Salesforce Saturday, Austin, Texas group. And she was recently interviewed by Mike Gerholt on the Button Click Admin podcast. So guys, I've posted the link of the podcast here. So it would be, nice, I want to share with you guys that the New Delhi Salesforce Saturday group actually got mentioned by her on the podcast. So she mentioned that we guys in Delhi have started this group, and it's continuously expanding and growing. So this was a good thing that happened. We're gonna get some more visibility around this. Okay, a little bit about myself. Who am I? I'm the organizer of. My name is Atul Gupta, organizer of New Delhi Salesforce DUG. Some of you might have who might have attended the revival meetup. You might remember my face. I've also started the Salesforce Saturday Delhi chapter. I'm active on Salesforce Success Community. I'm blogging at cloudvandana.com. That's my blog, and I'm working as an independent Salesforce consultant and developer. This is my Twitter. You can reach out to me here. Okay, there's a little more information about that: Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook pages, and everything. If any, you guys have any issues, any questions, any, if you guys want to volunteer, all these channels are open to you. Reach out to me anywhere, no issues. All right, guys. Starting with Workbench. So, what is it? So, Workbench is, for me, guys, it's a lifesaver. I'm a Salesforce developer, not particularly an admin, but a Salesforce developer, and it has been a lifesaver tool for me. I don't know, if I would have survived in Salesforce, I would have continued in Salesforce if Workbench wouldn't have been there. And definitely I'm not exaggerating about that. So coming to the textbook definition, Workbench is a web-based suite of tools designed for administrators and developers. And the Workbench is actually used to quickly view your organization's data and metadata. So it's not about just data. So the tools that we have out there, guys, like dataloader.io, and all the third-party tools that we use, they are usually only concerned with the data part. But Workbench, it gives us access to the metadata as well, and that is a brilliant thing, I think. Because you quickly want to know that what metadata is out there, and you want to make your coding decisions or whatever your design decisions are based on that. You can test and troubleshoot your applications. And it's kind of a one-stop shop for interacting with any kind of various Salesforce APIs. So yeah, so it's a PHP-based application, guys. No doubt in that. So some people have a doubt that PHP is a kind of a slow language or a scripting language, but I've come to my view has quite changed in the last couple of months or years, you can say. So it's quite fast. I think thousands and thousands of people all across the world use it, and actually at once, I think. so it's pretty fast. It supports force.com, bulk API, REST API, streaming API, metadata. So whatever the API you have out there, it supports that. I think there's only one API, that is the tooling API, that it doesn't support right now. But metadata API is actually richer than the tooling API, so we are not going to miss that. Excuse me. So you can describe, query, manipulate, migrate data as well as metadata. So again, it's you can do anything with the data as well as the metadata, right? So when I say anything, you might say, okay, data is fine, but what about metadata? But yeah, you can manipulate the metadata as well with Workbench. So we'll see that. All right. So Workbench is a web-based tool, guys. It's just need a browser, just like Salesforce. You just need a browser. You don't need to install anything. Like data loader, you need to install. It has got a single sign-on integration with Salesforce. So I'm pretty sure that all of us have used Workbench at least once in our lifetime, and we are pretty much familiar with the layout of the Workbench. We have seen it. We have logged into it. So single sign-on. So if you already logged into a Salesforce instance via a browser, and if you go to a Workbench window and try to log in, then Workbench directly takes on the session ID from there, and it logs in. You don't need to put in your username and password again. So Workbench is, guys, it's actually started as an open source project. It still is by Ryan Brainard. So let's get a little idea about who the hell is this guy. So Ryan Brainard he previously worked at Salesforce for 7 years. Now he is working as a principal member of technical staff at Heroku for the last 1 year. So this is his GitHub, and you'll find some other awesome projects that this guy has started or contributed to. Lovely things, lovely piece of code that is out there and we can leverage. He's there on LinkedIn, he's there on Twitter. So follow him, guys. This guy is pretty awesome guy. So how are you going to access Workbench? So I don't need to tell you that. Usually what we do is we just type Workbench Salesforce in Google, and it shows us the first link, that is https://workbench.developerforce.com. But if you want to get your hands a little more dirty, then you guys can go forward with the source code as well. So you guys can, so you'll find the source code for Workbench here. That is github.com/Ryan Brainard/Force Workbench. So this is where you can. So you guys are free to fork the project, okay, and you can start your own stream. You can make changes to it. You can do anything. If you want to contribute to the main branch, the master branch of the project that is there publicly available, then you can suggest something. So GitHub, if you guys have used GitHub has a pretty awesome discussion functionality where you can discuss things out, and then you can go forward with a pull request. And that would be great. So I'm not much comfortable, or you can say acquainted with PHP as such. I've not much worked with it, but I intend to. Moving forward, guys, how to access. Okay, yeah, how to contribute to Workbench. So you can contribute to Workbench on GitHub. One more thing, and you can even deploy your own instance of. So, guys, Workbench is a PHP application, simple as that. Okay, and it's hosted on GitHub. So what you can do with any kind of PHP application out there, whose source code you have, you can just take up that application. You can upload it on your local instance. Let's say if you guys have worked on maybe used XAMPP or LAMP or WAMP or something like that. Okay, so right now I think the most popular software is XAMPP. So it puts us Apache server on your local machine, that is your PC, and you can see websites. You can use those servers, those kind of things over there. So if you have experience with that, you can install a personalized version of Workbench on your desktops as well, and you can host it on Heroku. So guys, anything that you're gonna see in this slide that is marked like this, a little blue, that is actually a link. Okay, so you can click on this link, and you'll be taken to the respective website. So you can use these links and you can go to, so Heroku is where you can, deploy your, Heroku is, you all know Heroku about, Heroku is a, you know, your platform as a service kind of thing where you can program in multiple languages, whether it's Java, Clojure, PHP. So you can deploy your version of Workbench there. If you face any issues with the Workbench or have any questions or anything, you have these guys have a Google group. So this is its URL. You can go to this group. You can register. Obviously, you guys all have Google ID, so you can register with that only, and you can join the conversation. All right, let's get to the cream part. So, the a couple of slides that you guys are going to find a little mundane because you guys have already worked with those things. But let's say if some of you guys are not much familiar with Workbench or beginners in Salesforce, then I'm pretty sure basically the couple of starting slides, and I think the whole session is going to be very, very beneficial to you. So logging into Workbench. Yes. So once you go to this, where was that? Yeah. Once you go to this particular website that has https workbench.developerforce.com, then you're going to arrive on this screen. Now make sure, guys, again, make sure that you are logged into your Salesforce organization already. If you're not, then also you can log in, but you have to provide your credentials. But it's better, you have your Salesforce organization as well as your Workbench open in the same browser window so that you can switch and you can see through things. So you can choose the environment. So for the environment, you can choose either production or sandbox. So let me just okay, great. So guys, I'm already logged into one of my test environments. So this is my developer sandbox, developer account, you can say. Let me just do this here. Wait. Right. So this is guys Workbench. So I've come to here. So let me come here again. So I'll just put in workbench.developerforce.com and I'll click enter, and there you go. Voila, I'm on the screen. And here for the environment, you have got two choices, either the production or the sandbox. So production, guys, again, if you are in a production instance, then you have to use a production. And if you are trying to log into a developer instance, developer editions and edition organization, then you have to choose production. For all others, you can choose sandbox. API version, no point in choosing some earlier API version unless and until you are doing some very specific testing. Then I don't think so. Just choose the latest one, which is 36, Spring 16, and agree to the terms and conditions. If you want, you can read them out and log in. There you go. So, in just a sec, let me. Not picking up the ID, just a sec. Production, yeah. So I think I chose sandbox over there. Great. All right, guys. So we have logged in. So this is the first window you're gonna see. So let's move ahead with the things, whatever the options we have here, one by one. All right. Coming back to the slide. Great. All right. So the first thing that we're gonna look into, guys, is the Workbench settings. So let me show you. So these settings are actually pretty important. So I used to overlook these settings when I started out, but I see that a lot of things that that are actually controlled from here that we actually take for granted in Workbench. So let me let's go through a couple of important settings that I think, you should have, and it's going to enrich your experience of Workbench and make things easy for you. So I would suggest you guys, you just you click this checkbox. You always click it on. So this is allow viewing records in Salesforce. You want to understand what is the setting? You can just hover on this checkbox and you'll get a small nice window. So guys, what this does is, whenever you query, whenever you're going to see a record in Salesforce, so it's going to put on hover of that record or the ID, it's going to put a link where you can click on that link and you can directly view that record in Salesforce. So that's a pretty handy thing. So I'll show you exactly how that is done. Show IDs, hover actions. So apart from showing a link where you can go directly to view that record in Salesforce, there are other things as well that we can have so there are other options as well that come as part of the hover. So I'll also show you that. So also, keep this checked. So these are the options that, guys, it's your thing. So it's alphabetize field names or update recent items on sidebar. So let's say you query something and you want those items to be updated in the recent items in the Salesforce sidebar. You can check that. I would say don't check it. So let's keep that a little sacred to only and limited to only the Salesforce users who actually log into the UI of Salesforce and see the records over there. We've got auto update async operations. Yes, definitely. So whatever the async operations we are going to perform here, and the Workbench is going to automatically update them and show us the results. Display request time, definitely. All right, time zone, blah blah blah. Login options, yes. Default API version is going to be 36 only, guys. Pass session to Salesforce automatically, yes. So we do want things to work automatically. Describe results. Obviously, the language is going to be English. You can choose a couple of more. If you are savvy of Italian or French, you can choose that. I'm fine with English. Enable smart lookup, definitely. This is a very, very important functionality, guys, and this is going to really help you in whenever we are going to be using Workbench to insert, update, and upsert operations. So even I was much of a guy, who used to, constrain myself to only data loader for any update, insert operations. But I found that in certain scenarios, Workbench can actually become quite handy. When you are you're doing these operations like insert, update, and upsert. So Workbench actually helps you in those scenarios. So we'll discuss about those scenarios later. Insert null values. It's your wish. So you can whether you want to insert null values or not for a particular field. All or none transaction processing, as you know, whether it should revert back if something fails or it should go and commit things. Whatever the records have passed. Trigger emails, allow field truncation. So let's say if you have a field with 10 character limit and you put in something like 12 character limit, whether it should truncate or should give you an error. So you can choose that. So I'm not checking it. It should give me an error. Disable feed tracking. So anything you update with the Workbench, you can just disable it so that feed tracking does not capture that. Use default assignment rule. Just uncheck that, guys. So my suggestion would be, guys, if you don't understand a particular option, don't mess around with it and leave it as its default. But there's no rocket science in this. All the options are quite self-explanatory here. Okay. Transfer attachments on order change. Yes. Open activities. Yes. All right. So you can choose a particular assignment rule as well. So I've never used these options actually, guys. I don't think in future as well I'm gonna be using these options. So don't worry about them. Query or search. Yeah, this is something that is important, guys. This is automatically jump to results. Yes, we do want that, and allow SOQL parent relationship queries. So sometimes, guys, you must have seen that you do a kind of a, let's say, you're doing a child to parent query in Workbench and it fails. So this is about this only. Allow SOQL parent relationship queries. This should be checked. So I don't know, whenever I log in with a fresh browser, let's say I have removed the cache, this particular checkbox is, by default removed. I don't know why they have done that. I think this is a great suggestion that you guys can go forward with and contribute on GitHub, and you can make this checkbox as default true. So this is gonna be awesome. We don't have to. So I remember I always log into a new instance. I have to go back and check this checkbox. So parent relationship query should be something that should be out of the box. You don't have to do anything special for that. Package version. So if you're working with a managed package or something, then you can go forward with that. Apart from the managed package, guys, apart from a couple of applications that I've installed in Salesforce instances for my clients, or of my own App Exchange application, small application I developed for the App Exchange. Apart from that, my experience with managed package is also quite less. So as far as I'm able to understand this, guys, this is about the namespaces. So every managed package, as you know, it's got a unique namespace assigned to it. So you can, if you want to work with that managed package, you can assign up. So there are versions of that managed package. You can choose to work with a particular namespace or a particular version. So this is about that. Apex execute logging options. So just keep it, guys. Apex code and debug, the best thing. Okay. Now we're gonna just apply settings. The page is gonna refresh. There you go. Our settings are applied. Great. So if something that you might have messed up or something, you just click on restore defaults and it's gonna, there you go. We click on restore default and there you go. Allow SOQL parent relationship queries is unchecked. This is the default. I don't know why they've done that. Alright, great. So I'm not gonna save this. So let's move forward. So this was about the settings page, guys. Second, yeah. Jumped a little bit. Yeah, this one. Okay. So guys, the second is the info section. So in the info section, so this is where your metadata part is gonna come in. Where let's say you want to see what kind of metadata is there in your organization. You want to get a little more information about that. And I tell you guys, this particular section has been my lifesaver. This section has been a true blessing. So let's go through this section once. So what we have to do is, this time we have to go to this info drop down, and you'll see that there are three options here: the standard and custom objects, metadata types and components, and session information. Okay, so if you want to see what kind of metadata is there in your organization for that is any kind of standard or custom objects, what are the fields you have, and all other things, you can go forward with that. Metadata types, you can see all the metadata that is there in your organization, and that is exposed via metadata API, because Workbench uses metadata API. So metadata API is actually quite mature. It's been around, I think, ever since Salesforce has been conceived. So not that, I think, a couple of years less, but it's quite mature. It's got all the things exposed. Tooling API is a little bit, you can say it's still maturing, and still a couple of things that are still to be included in the tooling API. So you can be assured that this is going to be a complete set. Then you have the session information. So let's go forward with the session information first. So session information is going to show us everything. The whole session ID. What is the endpoint, that is the SOAP endpoint that this Workbench is using to to see your Salesforce data and metadata. The client version, that is, this is Workbench /36.0.1. API version is this. User. So let's say you can log in with multiple. You can log in with any user, right? So once you have the system admin permissions, you can log in with the user. So with whatever the user name you have logged in, you're going to see all the information about that. So you're going to see the profile ID. So that you remember I told we discussed those two options: allow view records in Salesforce, hover, and show options is over. So this is about that. So this hover that you can see with saying choose an action, this is about those two settings. So if I uncheck the first one, that is, allow the link to view in Salesforce, this particular option is going to go away. So let me show you. Just quickly, I'll go back to the settings and I'll just allowing viewing record in Salesforce. I'll uncheck it, save it, come back to session information. And if I go here, there you go. So my view in Salesforce thing is gone. But since my second checkbox is checked, I can still see these things. That is update, delete, undelete, purge, those kind of things. So why I'm not seeing insert? Because profile ID I'll not. So let's click on this. Let's see what happens. Okay. So this is my profile ID. So I'll just click on update. Excuse me. There you go. Now it's showing me all the fields. It's actually showing me the whole record itself, record and all its IDs and everything. There you go. So all is there. So as far as I know, guys, let's try this. I'll just do one thing. I'll try to rename this profile. So as far as I know, guys, the fields that are there in red, they cannot be changed. So let's confirm the update. All right, it's updated. Great. So let's go to this. So even if you don't click anything, guys, let's say this on header I don't choose anything, and I'll just click on the link. That's it. Then you'll be taken to that link. So I just clicked on the profile, and there you go. I'm taken to the system administrator profile. This is the whole record. This is right now in you can say detail view, like we see in Salesforce. So my name is not changed. Right. So the fields that are in red, you cannot update them. So the only thing that is updatable right now here is the description. That's it. All right. So let's move forward. So session information, yes. So I've got my role ID, session check-ins valid, and all the information that you can see about that particular user. Organization, the whole organization, then organization ID, what's the default currency, what's the company name, all those things are there. Metadata, organization namespace, partial save allowed, test required, false. All right, what is this? Okay, not sure about this, guys. Anybody have any idea about this? What is partial save allowed or test required is good for? I think this is something related to metadata API only, guys, and that's why. Okay, all right. So you have got these handy options, guys. Again, you just can do a collapse all. You can just there you go, expand all. All your sections are expanded. Pretty neat. Pretty. There's no very fast, very nice. Quickly you can go through things. This is what I like about this particular application. Lovely. Let's go with the second option, or the first option, so to say, standard and custom objects. Now, guys, this is something I love. You've got all your standard and custom objects exposed here. Everything. So there are a lot of things that you don't even see in. So let's say you want to see the fields of what do you say? Group, right? So here. There you go. So in Salesforce, what you can do is you can create a group, right? And you can assign a user or a group to another group. But you cannot see the fields. So this is where, the magic of Workbench comes into picture. So if I go to the group, there you go. So as you know, guys, this is a whole platform. So even your metadata can actually work as a so even if your metadata can actually work as, so everything is actually an object in Salesforce. So group is, we can say it's called kind of a system object, you can say that, but it's actually something like it's like a custom object, it's like a standard object only. It's got its fields, it's got its relationships, it's got its attributes. Okay, so let's see. So I'm just so let's keep this simple, guys, for now. Let's take an account. So I'm not sure whether you guys how many of you guys are familiar with the group. I'm pretty sure here all are developers, so you are quite comfortable. So for now, just go with the account. So if we go through the attributes, guys, so screen actually I used to overlook earlier, but this has been pretty useful to me. So you want to check whether this particular object is even, let's say you want to create this object. Let's say you are writing a test class and you want to create this object. Okay, let's take an example for reports. Guys, somebody has any question? All right. Okay. I thought you guys. Okay. So let's check. So sometime back I got a use case where where I had to query a report. Okay. So a colleague of mine, he suggested that why don't you create a report in test class. So I went here in Workbench and I showed him. There you go. You cannot create a report. So creatable. So the attribute that is the creatable permission is not there on the report. So you cannot create it, whether it's test class or anywhere else. So I hope they open this, because this is creating a report in test class is going to really help us. Right now we have to use those is test visible, or you can say see all data true, those kind of things in test classes. So I really don't want to use that. So yeah. So whether this particular object is a custom setting or not, no. So custom setting, guys, internally is actually a custom object only. Whenever you're creating a custom setting, internally it's a custom object only. But internally they maintain a flag. So if it's a standard or custom object, then that flag is false. Otherwise, if it's actually a custom setting, then this flag is true. Whether it's deletable or not, whether ID is enabled or not, key prefixes. What's the key prefix? What's the ID? The first three characters of the ID is going to start with. Label plural, whether it's deletable, replicatable, queryable. Queryable it is. So all those things, name, labels, all those things, all these attributes are there. So this becomes pretty handy if you want to quickly check whether a particular object can be played around in code or not. So this has been pretty. So imagine if you don't have Workbench, how you're going to get this data. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to get this information apart from Workbench. I would be searching Google or through Salesforce documentation, and then somewhere in the documentation I'll find that. This is the most handy way to get this information. Child relationships. Now, if you want to query, let's say children, let's say you want to do a nested query, okay, then you have to, I don't know, it becomes very difficult to understand what's the relationship between this object, that object. You're going to be searching through the data model on Salesforce documentation. You might find it, you might not find it. Best come here and you'll find all the relationships here. So you got report feed. So report feed is it is actually a child object is the report feed, and the field by which the report feed is connected to report is called parent ID, and relationship name is feeds. So if you are going to do a let's say inner query, query in query kind of thing, then you're going to use feeds. Otherwise, if you're going to be querying directly on report feed and you want to query the report that is linked to that feed, then you are going to be using parent ID. So pretty neat. You have got all your child relationships outlined here. Fields. So all the fields that you see here, guys, in red, they are system fields, so to say, or you can say audit fields. They cannot be changed unless and until you have that. So there's this option you can talk to Salesforce and they can turn on the audit fields for you. There you go. And supported scope. All users private items created. Reports I created. All reports mine. All right. So even I'm not sure about, guys, this supported scope. I've never used this, and I think this is something, the additional information. All this information is coming from Metadata API only, guys. So this is some additional information that Metadata API throws out. That's the thing. Got it. Okay. So guys, this is about so all your system and custom objects, standard and custom objects. Here you can see your objects, even those part of any packages. So let's say, so these are all packages I have. installed. So I think I had Survey Force as well. Let me check. Yeah, there you go. There's no, okay, that's an unmanaged package, so it doesn't have any namespace as such. Okay, got it. Namespace would have been there, but there's no appending. Got it, correct. Okay. So this is about that. Metadata types. Now these are all objects, guys. Now you want to see through the metadata. Let's say you want to see Apex classes, like what you can do with it. So let's say you want to create an Apex class via code. Whether you can do that or not, right? So I've never tried that, but let's see if that information is exposed here or not. Nope. So no, that information is not exposed. So these are all the Apex classes we have. I have in my org. So this is something batch search. There you go. So I've got all the information about this batch class. So these are metadata. So again, guys, these are not your normal objects, normal standard or custom objects. These are your metadata objects. So these are strictly, they can only be manipulated with your metadata API, not with normal SOAP API or REST API. So all the metadata is here. Yeah, it's interesting to see how they have classified groups as standard, even in standard objects, and not as metadata, right? So the exact demarcation between what is standard and custom objects and what is metadata is pretty thin line. Guys, anytime you find a breakage in my voice or something is not clear, just let me know. Okay. All right. Let's move forward. Okay, that is the info section we have gone through. Okay, information hover. Yeah, let's quickly go through this as well. So right, this is the information hover you have got. Once you come here and you hover on this, so this is your name. It's going to be highlighted here at the organization name and the API. So your username, your instance name, your org ID, and your user ID will be highlighted here. So this is a pretty neat function. So if you want to raise a case with Salesforce, you can just directly go here and note down the org ID, and you're done. You don't need to go into your company information and all that. All right. So company information hover is done. Let's move forward. Yeah. The second is, guys, your query section. This is a remarkable section. So this is where a lot of juice is there. So there you go. So this is our query section. You have got SOQL queries, SOSL queries, streaming push topics. So streaming push topics, guys, is nothing but the Workbench implementation of streaming API. So let's go through them. If I click on here, the SOQL query, there you go. This is the kind of interface I'm going to see, and this is a beautiful interface, guys. So the first, in the starting when I was learning Salesforce, this actually helped me a lot. So I was pretty bad with SOQL queries, creating SOQL queries. All those things, like and those kind of operators were a little new to me at that time. So I used to come here in Workbench and I used to create my query from here. So let's say I want to query account. So I want to query accounts, that account name and account number. So I'll just choose this. There you go. Automatically my query has been created. And for a beginner, this is awesome. He understands exactly how you can create queries and account name, let's say. And I want to filter where my name contains. So let's say contains. Okay, contains Mary. There you go. Now your query is automatically created. So you can just see here, from account, where, name, like, this is how. So whenever you want to do a contain, you have to do this, percentage sign, and the keyword in between. If you want to do something like starts with, there you go. Then Mary is going to be in the beginning and percentage sign. And let's say you want to do with something ends with, there you go. So this becomes quite handy, guys. If you want to quickly create queries and you don't remember the syntax, or at least for a beginner, this is a blessing. I used to do a lot of mistakes with SOQL queries, and I used to again and again, refer to the documentation, but this was a blessing. So these are all, guys, your filter criteria. So where clauses. So where name is like ends with Mary, I can add another filter criteria where my account number is not equal to 123, let's say. Another one where, let's say, my billing city is equal to New Delhi. These are all AND conditions. Another one, I want my, billing country to be India. So you can just go forward that. You can sort your results, that is, you can say order by, let's say by account number. So I want to sort my results by account number, and I want it the results to be seen as in ascending order where nulls are first. So let's say you got your account numbers where the account number is null. Those will be shown first. If you choose nulls last, then those blank fields will be shown last. Your results will be filtered according to that. Now, maximum number of records. There you go, 20. Limit 20. So you can build your entire SOQL query here, guys. Very neat. Plus, what you can do is, guys, so this becomes a pretty restrictive query. I don't think I'll have any results for this. So let's refresh this page. I'll show you a couple of results. Account number and name, right? Name and account number 5. Query. There, guys. I've got both the columns neatly come here. One of neatly. So how many seconds it took? This is great. My account numbers are empty for these 5, and I've got the name. So you can choose any number of fields, guys. So I can just click on this, click on Shift, and come down here. There you go. So all the fields I've chosen, and I'll just click on Query. Excuse me. There you go. Boom. Everything is out there. Right. So this is, this can become quite overwhelming, guys, as your fields go on increasing and the number of records get increasing. So another awesome feature is you can export your query results in the form of CSV files. Okay, so like I told you, I used to look towards the data loader for any kind of retrieve operation or extract operation. But nowadays, guys, I've become a fan of this Workbench and this particular feature. This is something that I've overlooked for quite some time. I used to go with just list. That's it. Nothing else. I was actually quite afraid of going to this because I didn't understand these options. But bulk CSV, so if I just do that and let's remove the maximum number of records and I'll do a query. So what it does is, so guys, whenever you're doing the bulk CSV, so it actually has Workbench actually has an implementation of bulk API. So it uses in the backend, it uses bulk API, force.com bulk API, and it schedules a job. So failed, functionality not enabled, selecting compound data, not supporting, yeah, right. So I think I selected some compound data here. So let's see, what did I select? I'm not sure, compound data. So I might have selected some field that is not supported by bulk API right now, guys. So I'm going to just go forward with a couple of fields right now for the sake of simplicity, and I'll just do a query. I think, guys, we're going to overshoot our session today as well. Okay, I'll try to wrap it up as soon as possible. I'm really sorry about this, guys. I want to keep it under 1 hour but the Workbench functionality is quite elaborate, and there are a couple of things that we need to go through if we do want to use Workbench as a pro. Want to work with Workbench like a pro. So right now, there you go. So I've got a couple of records coming in. So it doesn't discriminate between whether the fields are empty or not. So there's a record here, but for that record all these 5 fields are empty. So I've not selected ID, otherwise ID would have been there. So there you go, you got all the extracted information, just like data loader. So this is pretty easy to log in with data loader. You have to start the data loader, username, password. You've got your security token, then choose this and that, blah blah blah. So it takes time. This is much easier. So that's why I become a fan of this. So this is one thing, guys. With SOQL, bulk CSV, you can also choose bulk XML. So let's say you want to view records in XML format, then you can choose bulk XML. Then there's matrix. So guys, matrix is something, so you guys might have worked with reports. So in reports, we have a summary report and where you can group the reports, right? So matrix actually shows us results like that only. It groups the data. So you can choose a column and you can choose the rows that you want to show. So let's say I want to see all the records. So let's choose ID as name here as well. There you go. I want to see names. Let's make names as rows. And column, let's say by account source. Let's see how the result is going to look like. There we go, guys. So what you have got here, guys, all my account names, since, so if there are any duplicate names, they are going to be grouped together. Otherwise, they are going to come in as separate rows. And for every row, what we have is, we have got our account source. I've used columns as account source. So it's going to show me my account source here in a column. And all the other fields that I've, put in the query, they are going to come in this small box. So right now there are not a lot of data. So let's go forward with a query that is going to show some relevant data. Let's do that. Choose an ID, let's say. Choose industry. And right this time what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to choose column as industry only. There you go. And row as ID. Right. So let's see. There you go. So for all IDs, we have got all our industries listed out. There you go. So this ID has got all the, but nothing is filled out. So again, the industry, industry doesn't pan out here. But for this particular record, yes, the industry is there. That is the biotechnology industry is there. Let's take up a little more account source. I think that was account source only that I was looking for. Account number, account source. So usually, guys, so basically, guys, what this does is it groups your data, like it does in a matrix or a summary report. It groups your data, and you can see the data in a nice grouping fashion. We can get some useful information out of this, like how many records are there in biotechnology, how many records are there in electronics. So those kind of things, those kind of information you can take it out of. So that is about the matrix. Bulk is there. One more nice option we have here is called the deleted and the archived records, guys. So it's so you can exclude them or include them. So deleted, if you want to include them, then all your deleted records are also come into the query, and they'll also show up here. So guys, this is about the query page. If we go forward with the SOSL, I'm going to quickly cover this. There you go. So again, SOSL used to become a big headache for me, guys, the whole syntax and everything. But it's quite, this particular page has really helped me. So let's say I want to create a SOSL where I want to search for a field called let's say Mary only, and I want to search this particular keyword in all fields or name or phone. You can choose any of that. And you can limit the maximum number of records here, guys. You can choose 1, 2, 3, anything. And you can choose, what object you want to return. So let's say you want to do this query on account object. All right. And so one thing I found weird here, guys, is I cannot choose. So unless and until I put something here, I cannot choose the second row. So let's say I want to do my query on account as well as on contact. There you go. Right. So let's say I want to do a query on, I want to retrieve all the fields. So I'm not able to do that. I have to choose something here. Then only, this second thing is exposed to me. But as far as I remember, guys, the SOSL search syntax, it doesn't pose any limitation on that. So we can just directly do this. And it shouldn't be a problem. And if I click on search, then it will show me. So this is not there, but I think Athena is there. Yeah. There you go. And since I've returned only, I've searched this in all fields and I would not return any particular field, so that's why I'm only seeing ID. But if let's say you are gonna put name and industry here, then it's gonna return. There you go, your name and industry. Let's put ID as well. And one more interesting thing, guys, you can do a where clause here as well. So let's say where industry is not equal to null. So I'm not going to see any results because, in this, there you go, because both the industries are null. So this is how, you can restrict your query here. So this is again, guys, this is a very nice way of creating a SOSL query. And SOSL queries is again one thing that I was pretty tight with. I had a lot of problems with. But now this particular tool has cleared out my syntax a lot. I don't need to go for the documentation every time. So this is how you can very easily create SOSL queries, and on a fly you can see their results as well. Whether this is the SOSL query you want to go forward with the code in your code or not. All right, streaming push topics. Very nice, very awesome functionality. So once you click on it, first of all, it's going to do a handshake. So the streaming API is going to start and it's do a handshake with your organization, and then it's going to establish a connection. Just give me one moment, guys. Sorry about that, guys. So Saturday I'm at home and usually family guys are, yeah. So handshake is successful and the connection has been established. Right. So I can, what I can do is, guys, I can, subscribe to, I can create my push topics and subscribe to them. So like, let's see, I've already created a push topic called push 1. Okay. And if I want to see details, so what I've done is, I want to see, I've created a query. I want to see, select the ID, name, phone, lead source from a contact. So this is my query. This is a simple SOQL query. That's it. Save it, and then what you do. So there's a streaming API where it does this. So any changes to your contact record in any of these fields, streaming API is going to catch that and it's going to show you. So let's see an example. So if I subscribe to this, there you go. So I'm subscribed to this topic. So it's going to wait. So it's going to, every couple of seconds, so if I show you polling, so you can click here, you can see the polling. So poll completed. This is number 20. After a couple of seconds, again 21. After a couple of seconds, 22. So there you go. So it continuously polls. It checks whether some update has happened or not. Let's hide this. I find this pretty annoying. let's hide this, and let's do a little update on our org. Okay, so if I go to my org and I edit this record, Christian Akin. And let's say what should I edit? Phone lead source. Let's edit lead source. Where's this? Yeah. So right now it's purchase list. Let's move it to phone inquiry, and I do a save. If I come back here, there you go. So shows me this is the channel, this is the client ID, and this is the created date, and lead source has been changed to phone inquiry. This is the phone. This is like, so any change in all these fields is tracked. So ID, obviously it's not going to change. ID is static, but any change in the name, phone, or lead source is going to be tracked in this streaming push topic. So you're gonna say, what's the use of this, right? So if you guys, I never got a chance to work with streaming API a lot. But you can use this if you have an implementation in Salesforce. You can use streaming API. If you have a use case or a requirement where you want to check, continuously whether something has been updated or not. Okay, so in that case, so let's say you want to take a quick glance or quick view exactly how this thing is going to work. So you can come down here and have a look at. You can create a SOQL query and create a push topic, subscribe to it, and you can see exactly how this is going to work. So this is a very handy way to see that. If you don't want to know, you don't longer want to, see the results, you just unsubscribe to this. That's it. Once you're unsubscribed, there you go. You're unsubscribed to this topic. Now this is not going to poll continuously. So this is about, guys, a streaming API. Push topics. So this particular option I've never used that much. Actually I've never used it. Never used that much. Doesn't make any sense. I've never used it actually. So a couple of times only, just when I was, wanted to have some fun and see how things are working. That's it. But yeah, the rest of the options that we have talked about till now, they have been pretty helpful. All right, coming down to the next thing. Okay, and guys, again, if you want to know a little more about streaming API, you can go to this particular link and you can understand more how the streaming API works, and the whole complete documentation is there. Lovely documentation. Okay, this is done. SOSL search is done. Right. Yeah. Another interesting feature of Workbench, guys, I should tell you. So let's say two of you colleagues are working in the same environment, and you did a search. So let's say you did something. Let's say you created a query and you found some results. So let's say this is the query, right? And let me put limit 3. So this is the query, and you want to share this query, the results of this query. So you're not going to do you're not going to do a copy and paste to the other person, right? So that doesn't make sense. Or you're not going to download it. So what you do, this is your whole URL here. You can see here, guys, it's a very complicated big URL. Okay, so you can just copy this, and let's say I get rid of the screen. Let's say I go to some other screen. Okay, and what I'll do, I'll just, you can bookmark this URL, you can save it, you can just email this URL to your colleague or friend, and when you enter this URL into another window, you're going to arrive to the same exact query, and your colleague is will be able to see the same exact results that you were seeing. There you go. So this is a very nice and handy way of, so you can save this, and every time, so again, guys, this is only going to work if you are in the same org, right? So the same data is not going to be, you're not going to be able to see. But this thing that you don't need to just copy paste or just send it to him via email. You can just send him directly this whole URL. You can bookmark it. So anything you can do with that. This is a pretty neat feature I found. Going forward, save searches. All right, playing with the data. Yeah. So right now, guys, till now we were querying the data. We were seeing exactly how the data is, and now what the some more awesome functionalities is you can insert data, update data, upsert data, delete, undelete, and purge. So all these things I think you are already familiar with. The purge thing is it permanently deletes the records from your recycle bin. So it's not like it's kind of a shift delete in Windows. So delete is something that the records are going to go into recycle bin. Purge is going to permanently delete. So let me show you a little example. If I go to the insert, there you go. So what this does is you can choose an object, any object here, and you can either choose one single record. Okay, I'm not seeing that window. Why? So there should be a box coming up here, guys, and I'm not able to see that. Weird. Might be some cache issue, guys. Okay, so I'm not sure, but I think this thing might be hanging up. But let me log out and log in again quickly. There you go. If I go to insert now, interesting. There you go. Okay, here. All right, fine. My bad. All right. Okay. So since we are doing an insert, obviously, since we are doing an insert, there's no point of providing an ID. So what I was looking for is this box. Right. So this box is where let's say you want to update a record. Let's say you want to update a contact. Let's say this contact you want to update. What you can do is you can just come here, choose contact, put contact ID here, and click on next, and you'll arrive to this contact. There you go, and you can just update all these fields, any fields. Update any of these fields. Let's say I want to change this to 1-2. And confirm update. There you go, and it will be updated. Fine, simple. So, but when you are inserting, you don't have any ID, right? So that's why this is not there. What you can do is you just click on single and click next. You're gonna arrive at this page, and you can create your new record, right? And confirm insert, and your new record will be created in Salesforce. All right. This is something that you can do for a single, and you want to do a bulk operation like in data loader. You can choose file as well. So file can be in the format of either CSV or zip. So your CSV file, like in data loader, it's gonna contain all the columns and all the data, and you can just upload it. And with your zip file, let's say you want to upload documents or some binary data as well. So like it should have a zip file. In the zip file there should be a CSV, and then there should be a folder with all the documents or all the attachments, and the paths mapped into the CSV. So that the same thing that you see we do with data loader. So the same kind of thing, but you have to have a zip file for that, and you can use that zip file to upload here. So this is a pretty neat feature, pretty quickly you can get things into Salesforce. So this is about insert. Update is something similar, guys. There you go. So you can choose a particular ID, and then you can update them as well. If you want to update bulk data, you can choose file from here. Upsert. There you go. Delete. Obviously, guys, for delete you need to just provide the ID. So on the basis of ID, it's automatically gonna find which object is there, and it's going to delete it. I've not tried this, but I think this should work. That let's say you want to delete 10 accounts and 10 contacts, then you can just put in the IDs of those 10 accounts and 10 contacts in one CSV file and try and delete it. I think this should work. It shouldn't be any problem. And undelete, just provide the IDs. And then how are you going to provide the IDs of to undelete, right? So what you do, you use the query SOQL query option where you include the deleted and archived records, and you do a bulk CSV return. So from here you extract the data which is going to include your deleted records, and here you can just click on undelete, choose a file and upload that file, and it will undelete the data, right? So pretty fine stuff. Purge. There you go. You can purge a single record just like delete. So a very nice feature I want to show you guys here is, so let me just quickly show you. So there's something called smart lookup. So when you are insert, so let's say guys, you know, let me give you a scenario. You want to upload accounts, and now you're not sure, you know, for either let's say you are uploading 1,000 accounts, and of those 1,000 accounts, some of them are of one record type, and let's say 500 are of one record type and 500 are of some other record type. Now what do you have to do? You have to either, you know, do that Excel sheet. In Excel sheet, you have to use the VLOOKUP function and have the IDs and the name of the record type, and then match it, and then on the basis of name get the IDs of the record type, and with the account information and the record type ID, then you upload using the update function, then or the insert, then your accounts are uploaded into Salesforce, and they are assigned to the right record type. Now let's say you don't want to do that. So Workbench has a very smart feature, and pretty aptly it's called the smart lookup, where you don't need to do this. What you do, you just put in the names. So let me show you guys. I think I prepared, yeah. So this is a CSV that I have prepared. Now you can see the CSV file, right? Guys, can you see this? Anyone? All right. Okay, so I was just confirming whether everybody is awake or not, or because of my bull. All right, let's go hold. Okay, so this CSV file it has ID, it has got name, it has got record type, ID. Let's read up this. And instead of the IDs, I've got names here. So let's say I've got two record types in my org. One is called RT, and another is called RT1. So instead of, you know, getting the IDs of these record types and putting them here and mapping them using a VLOOKUP, I'll just go the easy way. I'll just put in like this. Okay, these 9 are of RT type and these are of RT1 type. That's it. I'm just gonna go with that, and I'm gonna save this. Save it. Yes. And I'm gonna upload this. Yes. So I want to upload accounts, right? Account from a file, insert, right? I'm gonna choose a file, this one. There you go, and I'm gonna do a next. So this is the page where the magic is gonna happen, guys. So all my fields are blank. I have just the name and the record type, right? So instead of this, this record type ID, obviously this record type ID field is going to be mapped to the record type ID field in my CSV file. But I'm going to do a smart lookup. So what this smart lookup is going to do is I want to I want to match this with the record type name. As you know, in my CSV I don't have record type IDs, right? I have names. So instead of record type IDs, I'm going to match it to record type names. So what this does, guys, is magically it matches your record type names with record type IDs, and it just uploads the records. Map fields. If you want to process the records asynchronously via bulk API, you can do that. We don't need to because the number. So this is suggested if you have a lot of records. I'm just going to do a confirm insert, and there you go. My all the records are inserted with the. So if I go through a couple of them, it's the 1st, 12th, and 15th. Let's see what record types have been assigned to them. ID. So there is the ID. Okay. So if I click on this record type ID, I can see the whole information. So this is what I like about Workbench. You can just quickly jump from one window to another. So this is my RT type. So if I come here, this is my record type. This is RT1 type. There you go. So you guys see magically I didn't provide any record type IDs. I just provided record type names and things got uploaded. Records got uploaded. So the same thing is going to work. So this is again, guys, this is smart lookup is going to work with you only your insert, update, and upsert, not with others. All right, coming to the last couple of things. So you got smart lookup. All right. So all this information is already put in the PowerPoint presentation, guys. So you can have a look at that. I've tried to be as elaborate in screenshots and information as possible, and logically feasible in a PowerPoint presentation. So I would urge you guys to have a look at that. So let's go forward. So this was us playing with the data. So let's say you want to play with the metadata. So we have got these deploy and retrieve operations. So I think you guys are pretty familiar with the force.com IDE to retrieve the metadata or transfer the metadata from one org to another org. Then you have got the chain set, then you've got the aunt. So let's say quickly you want to do those things. So we've got these options available in Workbench as well. So first let's go through the retrieve thing. There you go. So what you only need to do is you need to provide a package.xml here. You just put a package.xml and it's got the same format as you see in aunt and force.com ID, the same format. All the components there, and you'll just do next, and all your components are going to be retrieved. Whatever the classes or pages or objects or fields that you put there. Otherwise, what you can do, guys, is you can also put a package name. So let's say I've got a package called Survey Force. So I'm going to use that. Let's do that. I've got a package called Survey Force in my org. I want to retrieve that whole package. So it's an unmanaged package. You can install that from App Exchange. And I want a single package, yes. And click on next. There you go. So I'm going to click on retrieve. This is there you go. So right. So guys, remember. So this SOQL queries it uses bulk API to query your CSV files, get CSV files and XML files. Same thing with the deploy and retrieve. It uses metadata API. So this is your metadata API. A job is assigned and it succeeded. Great. So I can download the file. Let's see how the download file looks like. It's a 500 KB file. Let's see in the folder. Just click on it. There you go, guys. So this is my retrieve zip file, and you can see it looks similar to what you want to get in a package in ANT or other tools. So if I show you the package.xml, it's going to contain all the information, all the components that are part of this package. That is Survey Force. So Survey Force is, guys, nothing but just a second, guys. Yeah. If I show you package.xml, okay, it's gonna open that only. Fine. There you guys. So my package.xml, so it has got all the Apex classes, got all the Apex components, it's got all the Apex pages and custom application and all the custom fields. So you can see, guys, your Workbench can become a quite handy tool to get these things, retrieving the components on the basis of either your package name or on the basis of your package.xml. You can also deploy things. But guys, I was trying to deploy yesterday, so I've used retrieve. I use retrieve function a lot, but never deploy. So deploy, I found a little gap. So I tried to deploy the same structure. I tried to deploy two Apex classes with their package.xml in a zip file, but I was continuously getting error. So it was not taking it. So then I went through a little bit of documentation. Then they said it needs a flat file. So when they say flat file, so that means is I need to put all my package. So it should be something like this. So I need to put, so this is Abhinav Gupta's LR engine. So I was trying to upload these two classes. So what the documentation said, I need to put the package.xml and the classes in the same directory. So this sorted out the error, but again, my deployment didn't work. I don't know why. This I think I might be doing something wrong, or there's some issue with how the deployment works in Workbench. So I would not suggest this feature for now, because this is a little confusing from a developer point of view, how this works. So for deployment, I think, guys, you can still go with the ART or something. But if you guys experiment with this and you stumble upon a way that I might be doing something wrong with it, then I would definitely want that in the next session you can share with everyone. All right, so guys, I think we are very, very up our allotted time slot, so we'll just go forward quickly, and I think I'll be able to wrap this up in another couple of minutes. Going forward, the REST Explorer. So like I told you, there's all the APIs are connected with the Workbench. So REST API is another thing. So REST Explorer. So you can do all the functions, all these methods you can use that are exposed in REST API. That is get, post, put, patch, everything. So with the get, you can get all the information about your org. So this is whole information. So you can have chatter, all the chatter objects and all this information is at your disposal, all the feeds, users and everything. So if I go forward with users, so very easy. I don't need to put in a whole command. I can just click on things and I'll get up and running. So this is all the users in my organization. I've got them listed out here, guys. I've got this user, this user, this user. So let's say I want to go up one. So I'll just click on up. Execute. There you go. I went one up in the hierarchy. Let's say I want to show the responses in a raw response. So this is going to show me exactly what is the cookie and everything, and it's going to show me in a JSON format my response. So this JSON is actually a little bit formatted here for our viewing pleasure, or for making it easy for us to see, and these links have been made clickable. But yeah, I think this is an awesome functionality we have got. So REST API, you can very easily go through, and you can build out your whole endpoint that you are going to use. You can build out your whole request body. So let's say you want to create a couple of accounts, you can build out your whole JSON. You can test out your JSON body that you're going to put in so that those accounts get created. So even before doing the actual coding, you can test these things out fast and easy. Then we have got the Apex Execute. This is, I think this is the feature that I've used the most in the Workbench. So this is my favorite feature. So I don't like the developer console execute anonymous or the force.com ID execute. I like this. So this is pretty easy. I can just quickly write some code, snippets of code and execute, and I'll know exactly whether it's going to work or it's going to have any problems or not, any runtime issues or not. Nice tool, very awesome tool, I think. Password management, never used this, but still they have given it I think this might be useful if you want to do password management for a lot of people. Just put in your user ID, the user ID of whatever the user you want to use, change the password for, and then change the passwords here. And then we have got bulk API job status. So guys, you remember when we were doing our SOQL queries and we were getting the CSV files out. So there was a bulk API ID assigned to all the jobs, and we have to click on the download, and then our download would happen. So that ID, so let's say you are trying to retrieve thousands of records. So that job ID you can put here, and you can click on get status, and you can see, what's the status of that job. So for 20, 30 records, that happens instantaneously. So the status is going to be always complete. But for 20, 30,000 records, then you can see, what's the status, how many records have been retrieved, not. The same thing, let's say you are deploying or retrieving a lot of components, then you can use this this option, that is Metadata API process status. Again, whenever you are retrieving or deploying something, async process ID is assigned. You can just put it here. You can select the operation, like for which operation this process ID is, let's say retrieve, and you can get the status. You'll get, this is again relevant if you have a lot of components, and in deployment, definitely this is relevant. So deployment does take place if you have got 20 to 30 components. You can see what's the status of the deployment. So guys, this, I think we have covered and everything and anything that Workbench as a tool has got to offer to us. And I think this is an awesome tool, and I've got I would like you guys, if you have more ideas, to improve this tool, you can go forward and put it on GitHub. And maybe, it's better if you guys can get started with it and start contributing to the Workbench GitHub code. That would be awesome. All right. So wrapping this up, guys. All right. So guys, a couple of things I got to tell you, news. So till now we have been having online sessions. So I am fortunate enough that a company in Gurgaon has offered us a space where we can have our offline sessions as well. So I'm hoping that by next to next week we can have our offline session there, and we can have these kind of sessions, trailhead, and any kind of discussions that you guys have. So guys, again, to decide the agenda of the meetup, whether the meetup should actually even happen or not, whether it's actually any useful to you guys or not. Okay, you guys have to participate. It's not just me. I'm just the organizer. That's it. They say, I'm just the organizer. It's you guys. The meetup is for you guys. You need to come up with, you need to contact me, and you need to tell me exactly, Atul, this is what's wrong with this thing, and this should be done right. Okay, so you tell me this is right and this is wrong, and I'll make sure that the next time I avoid the wrong things. Okay, and slowly we are going to improve on things. I don't consider that things are working perfectly right now. I think that there's always scope for improvement. All right, guys. Lastly, thank you for attending the session. Oof, finally. Definitely, guys. On a Saturday, I don't want to do this thing with you guys. That's why I usually keep the sessions in this time slot. So after the session, you can just go down to your lunch, and then in the evening you can go out and enjoy your weekends. I don't want to get it to that you get stuck up. Again, guys, thank you, and you can follow the New Delhi Developer Salesforce user group on Twitter. There we have got a meetup.com group. You can join that, and I continuously keep out sending emails. So whenever the sessions are happening, I'll be communicating. So my main channel of communication is going to be Twitter, the success community, and the meetup group. So please sign up on all these things. And if in any case you want to reach out to me, guys, you've got my email ID, you've got my Twitter, LinkedIn. I've got a Facebook page. You can put a message over there as well. You can just I've got a blog. You can just go through the blogs, comment there. So all these options are there to contact me. And some of you guys also have my phone number. So if you guys go to the Success Community group, there I've got my phone number, listed out over there as well in the left-hand side sidebar. So you can just give me a call for anything. Literally, guys, for anything, you can just give me a call. I'll try to help you as much as possible to the best of my knowledge. And guys, again, very important, I want your inputs. So if you want to prepare, let's say if a couple of you guys are want to study for a certification, we can do that. We can just create a certification group, and we can meet like a couple of weeks, and we can set a deadline. Let's say by the end of April, some of you guys want to, let's say, clear Developer 1 certification, right? Developer 1, or you want to complete the Developer 2, the MCQ part. So I've cleared my advanced developer certification, including the assignment. I'm a Sales Cloud, Service Cloud admin developer, and I'm currently trying to go for the technical architect one. Well, it's Delhi abhi dur hai, like they say, but still. So I'll try to help you, and I'll try to get you up to speed as much as possible. Alright, guys. Thank you for attending the session. I'm really sorry the session got a little extended, but I really wanted to cover all the things so that this becomes a complete session. And since it's being recorded as well, so we can share this recording with everyone, and it's a complete kind of a webinar, you can say, highlighting all the things that Workbench, an awesome tool, has to offer us. Alright, guys. I hope to see you in the session next week. And the offline sessions we are going to have, I'll keep in touch with you.
Okay, thank you, Atul.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.